Hey guys, Nathan Rigney here, the Profit Generator, founder and owner of NGR Accounting. If you want to continue to watch our videos, remember to hit that subscribe bell, like the video, and be sure to get all our awesome content. We're lucky today to have Matt Alderton, the owner of BX Networking. BX is currently active in Australia, New Zealand, and the USA. Matt is a business growth expert, business coach, professional speaker, and author. Having owned and operated so many businesses before, including Subway, cafes, and other businesses, Matt is well experienced when it comes to business, which makes Matt the perfect person when it comes to talk about business and helping people grow their businesses. Well, Matt, thank you so much for giving us your time today. And we're going to get straight into the questions. And the first one I really want to ask you is, let's start with BX Networking. You created the business over 8 years ago. What made you create BX Networking, and what sets it apart from other networking groups and businesses that are out there?
Awesome. Yeah, good question. I actually kicked off the BX brand back in 2015, and I kicked it off as an events and education company for small business to help small business owners scale and leverage up to avoid the challenges that most business owners have and to create some great success. Sadly, more than 96% of businesses started in Australia and in most developed countries will fail in about 10 years, or within that 10 years, half of which will fail in the first 12 months. So I knew that there needed to be some drastic change to help support small business, predominantly in Australia, where my heart and passion is. And so I created BX to do just that, to surround people with experts from all different types of industries that support small business to help them leverage, scale up, and avoid the mistakes that most people make, and become part of the 4% and increase that as opposed to the 96% that do fail. So that's where it started. I was running events, couple of events a year with like 1,000 odd people in these events. They were a great event for education, but the whole purpose of the event was to really help those business owners tap into some opportunities provided by some global experts like Mark Burris, Naomi Simpson, John McGrath, key people like that had loads of different experiences they could share. And then that led those people on a journey, and hopefully they wanted to join my 12-month education program and get further access to those people through a 12-month development program. And that was the business of BX. The challenge is I was running 2 events every year with thousands of people, and much of it was surrounded with me and me doing a lot of the work and me doing a lot of the sales and resting on 2 events going very well. And then the other element was that everybody always talked about at every one of these events, we need more networking. The feedback always was, you need to do more networking, Matt. We wanted to have more networking time at your events, as well as the education. So what I found myself doing is putting more networking into these events. And then it came to a place where I had an opportunity to buy into an existing footprint of 8 groups that were based in Sydney. And I took over those, bought those back in 2016. And that quickly morphed into the BX Networking brand, which soon surpassed the education side of the business and the program side of the business.
On that, like the growth of BX, it's grown exponentially. Like it's gone huge. And yes, you are taking on the US market, which I think is a massive tick, and I'm really excited for you guys doing that. But I want to take you back to those early days, and I want to really focus in on what are those important planning aspects that you implemented, which has helped and meant that also that today BX has had some really strong growth.
Really, for me, my background is many years of franchises and running groups that had ran one franchise group that had over 40 different retail shops. When I went into business myself, the businesses that I was looking at, they were franchises. Ended up owning 4 Subway franchises, as well as opening up some other businesses. But the most important thing that I've learned through that and through buying franchise, being involved in a franchise, is that it's the systems, the processes, the planning that you put into place at the very early stages of business that set you up for success in any endeavor that you embark upon. And there's no question we've had someone invest into BX in Australia back in 20 2020, and I had someone want to invest in BX in the US in 2021 and this year, when we kicked off. The value of BX is not necessarily in what we're doing, but it's how we've set it up, and it's the structure, the systems, the processes, and that doesn't happen if you don't have that set from the early stages. And that's what people are buying. That's the value proposition. That's what our members are buying into. They're buying into that seamless system that they can turn up to one event in one side of the country or one side of the world and have the same experience everywhere they go. But it doesn't come down to it if you don't put some good, solid plans in place. And I'm a big goal setter. I'm a big planner. I do daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals, annual goals, 5-year goals, and plans and I have done that since inception of the business.
So I'm going to do a bit of a segue here, and I mentioned partnerships. I want to talk a partnership outside of BX, and I want to talk about your beautiful wife, Meg.
Okay.
So it's definitely a partnership. And you got 2 children, I believe.
3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, two are teenagers. One's still at primary school.
So we always forget the third, unfortunately. But tell us a bit about them. I mean, let's know a little bit about Matt personally.
Well, yeah, you say I'm passionate about the business, and you can see that. And I love my family. Well, who doesn't say that really? But they're the reason why we do everything we do. We want to create a life that's exciting, it's fun, it's full of love and full of possibilities. And 3 gorgeous kids, and I know you've got a couple of kids as well. If you live in Sydney, let's face it, they're not going to be able to afford to buy their own homes. So we need to be able to run a business that's going to actually set them up for success with that as one small thing. But just to create that environment where they've got family around them, support around them, and that as well. Which we talk about things like balance and things like that in life. And I'm sure I'm probably leading into your next question here because you're nodding along. So I'll leave that alone for a second. But it's just family is the purpose behind what I do. But my family's also not just my wife and 3 kids, it's also my extended family, it's my members, it's my team, because one of our values at BX is family. It's a value that was shared amongst all of our team members when we talked about what was important to us. And we do think of our members and our team and the people that we work with and the community that we're with as part of our extended family as well, because that's what one big community is. Whether you're in the US or in Australia or wherever you are, you're part of the BX family.
Yeah. Talking about that work-life balance, and how do you go about keeping that balance and making the family still happy? Because you're a busy man.
Well, it's interesting. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, if you're looking for balance and you want to work and you want to own your own business, you probably should go back and work for a job where you can work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, because balance is not something that's achieved on a daily basis or a weekly basis or even necessarily a monthly basis. There are times when you just need to work your ass off and hustle. There are times when you can sit back and enjoy the fruits and the rewards that you've put in place. But what I'm passionate about with my own and trying to create balance is really, like for instance, I was in the US for a couple of weeks with some launches, doing that, came straight back, had 3 days in the office, had almost 2 weeks off with the family, as a balance off the back of that. Spending time hardcore with work means that sometimes you have to spend some hardcore time finding some balance. It's finding some time with the family. I've got, I think, 12 weeks of hustling. I think I've got 8 weeks of interstate trips. I've got 2 international trips for BX, but then I've got 2 weeks in Fiji with the family. Now, there'll be weekends and sporting activities and other things like that, but what I know about life is that, it's hard to just sit back and relax. 3 kids, man, you're running around, sporting activities, drum lessons, swimming, all this sort of stuff. So people looking for balance will never find it. It's kind of like that holy grail, and I think you end up being disappointed.
So what I'm really hearing is that, I guess being in business, like having Meg there, it's really about her understanding what the business is and understanding that at times there will be more, BX time, and then there's going to be more family time.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's also, for my personal situation, this is how Meg and I make this decision, my wife and I. and this might not work for everybody, and everyone might not be in a position to do this, but my wife is a primary school teacher, absolutely loves being a primary school teacher, but we had to make a decision that she couldn't work full time to doing what she was doing, because I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's kind of like, that's where the balance happens. It doesn't all mean that you just have to, not work at all on the weekend and not work nights, so you have balance. Sometimes it means your partner needs to support you in doing what you're doing. And it doesn't matter whether you're the female entrepreneur or the male entrepreneur or whatever it is, that partner sometimes has to be the balance. When you've got kids, you just don't want to have your kids in daycare for 12 hours a day and catch up with them on the weekend and stuff like that. Personally, from my perspective.
Be a part-time parent.
Yeah, you don't want to be a part-time parent. So there has to be balance somewhere, but it's not necessarily you balancing that out as well. Yeah. It's a tricky conversation because it is very individual. It is about your personal values and what you value as important to you. But for me and my wife, our kids are the most important things in our life. And I know that there's going to be times where I'm away for 3 or 4 days or 2 or 3 weeks. I can't balance while I'm away with the kids and the family. So my wife has to be that person to help.
Yeah, and I think what I like is that you've taken on, this is what works for you and Meg. And I guess it is quite an individual thing for so many people. Yeah. I want to now focus in on marketing. Marketing is an important aspect to every business. And it's I guess one area that you encourage in marketing of that mix is networking. But what I want to know is networking an option for every business? And should every business consider it, or is it just specific to certain industries or business types?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the first part of your question, in terms of marketing and networking being one of those strategies, I think you need to have at least 4 strategies. 4 marketing pillars. And the best analogy that I've heard is marketing is like the legs on a chair. You've got to have 4 strong legs. If you don't have 4 legs, chair tips over. That's your business. If networking was your only strategy and COVID hit and you didn't have an online option, there's your only marketing activity out the window. So you've got to have multiple strategies in place. Now, my personal belief is that networking can work for any business, and there's multiple forms of networking. But the paradigm shift that we're really focused on for BX, and to help people shift their thinking around networking, is taking it from that transactional networking, which is what dominates the networking scene right now. Most people turn up to a networking event and they count the number of heads in the room and go, how much money can I possibly make here? How many people can I get a business card off? How many people will maybe buy my product or service? And they start selling and it becomes transactional. And you know what some of these are like. And the less structured they are, the more often that you'll get that selling process happening. And they're kind of sleazy. But we're in this mindset that, networking is a sales activity. But you said it, networking is actually a marketing activity. And when we're marketing our business, we're not selling. We don't sell on Facebook. We market on Facebook when we're buying ads. We don't sell through our website directly in terms of getting leads and connections and stuff like that. We might have options, places to buy, but we're trying to engage people. So our marketing activities need to be about engaging, not selling. And people, the mindset, the gap there is a challenge for people. And we've seen it in the US because people, we come to this market that hasn't seen BX before. They've done lots of networking before. But what we find is that they're all selling to each other. And we're like, guys, this is the process, this is how it works. And they do their 40-second pitch, and we talk about, how to do that pitch and to pitch for a referral partner. So partnerships instead of selling directly to each other. And it's, some people, the penny drops as the meeting progresses. Other people just can't move their mindset there that fast. But you can see it slowly start to shift.
But I 100% agree. There's nothing more sleazy than turning up and someone throwing a set of steak knives plus their service.
That's right. I know. It's crazy, right? And it puts everybody off. And what I know is that through what we do at BX is we help you partner with people. And when you partner with people, instead of that person is able to then prospect on your behalf their clients, and you're prospecting your clients on behalf of them all the time. And so I've done a lot of business coaching over the years. You're an accountant, your end client is going to be very similar to mine would be as a business coach. And therefore, when I'm sitting in front of one of my coaching clients, if we were referral partners and I said to them, hey, tell me about your business and what's going on with this, talking about their finances and their structures and whether they're using QuickBooks or Xero or whatever they're using. And they're like, well, I'm not using any of that. I'm putting it into Google Sheets. I'm like, well, have you got an accountant? Like, no, I don't. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to Nathan. Nathan, best accountant I know, happiest accountant I know. He's the accountant that gives a shit. And you definitely need to have a conversation with him because one, he'll get you onto some systems that'll actually save you some time, save you some money. He's probably going to save you a bunch of money in tax. But I can guarantee you have to have a conversation with Nathan. Now, when this person speaks to you, and I do that nice warm introduction between the two of you, when you have a conversation, you're not saying, hey, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. They're like, Nathan, how do I buy your thing? And you're like, it's really easy. This is our process. I'll sign you up here. This is it. And you've already moved past the sales part of the process because I've done the work for you. That's how a relationship should work with a referral partner. They're prospecting, they're building the relationship, they're doing the selling for you because they know what their clients need. And then when they hand them over to you, they're ready to buy. That's the perfect relationship.
Now, we've done a lot of talking today, and if you're going to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. As the CEO and founder of BX Networking, how have you used the principles to promote BX to gain business success?
In terms of the building your business on partnerships, which is how we help our clients build their businesses through partnerships. We've got some cracker referral partnerships that we work with people like Dale Beaumont, so the #1 business educator and trainer in Australia, if not one of the top in around the globe. Similar client base to BX, very similar client base, and I know that we promote all of his events. We catch up regularly. He's now actually a financial partner in BX as well, and so we have a great relationship. But always have. And we recognize the value of being financially connected after we had such a successful referral partnership as well. People like Jackson Milan, so the global leader in Profit First, and I know you know Jackson well. He's great at that, yeah. So we work with Jackson on a bunch of stuff. He shares content, we share content, we do some great stuff there. Steve Brosman, one of the best guys when it comes to building your personal brand, your expert positioning. Do tons of work with him. Heaps of people. So we know partnerships are so important for everybody. And so we've made it a goal to align ourselves with some of the best in the business, serving small business, so we can get in front of their marketplace. And I know they love being in front of our marketplace as well. And we position them. You know these names because you've seen their content, their education. We promote them all over the place as well. But in terms of our values, we've got fun, family, integrity. You've seen that we've got we just changed our values as well from relationships, collaboration, and inclusion, were the previous values. Our team know these values. Our team came up with these values, and all of our members who run the groups and stuff like that, our team leaders, are all committed to those values as well. So we see that live and breathe through every one of our events.
Well, Matt Alderton, thank you so much for taking your time out today to let me interview you and find out some more about BX. It's been an absolute pleasure, and
had fun. Thanks, Nathan.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
We will, of course, leave links to BX Networking and their social media channels so that you can get in touch and possibly come along to one of the next BX Networking meetings. If you want to continue to watch our videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe bell, like the video, and of course, you'll get all our awesome content. I'm Nathan Rickney, the Profit Generator, and I look forward to seeing you next time.